Hi guys, it's me, Kuya Jam Jam. Thank you for watching this. I actually tried doing a live session. Some of you may have seen it, but because of ano tawag doon? Signal issues, I guess naputol. And I'd like to share with you a wonderful, not really a wonderful message, but something that I realized in terms of my life and just how God was really moving in terms of how He wants me to be positioned in life, and what He has really desired for me to do as an individual. You know what? Ako po ay, as some of you who know me, ako po ay isang individual na, I'm not really that much of an achiever. I came from a family of achievers wherein my siblings, or sinasabi po natin ng mga kapatid ko, ay talagang napakatatalino at napakagagaling. In the way na, they were studying in the big four biggest schools here in the Philippines, and ako naman po on the other hand, some of them even had masters, but ako naman po on the other hand, I studied in not really big four, but a part of the big six or big eight schools out there. Not really a big 8, but more of, I studied in a UAAP school, or alam niyo naman po yung UAAP if you're here in the Philippines. So I wasn't really that much of a great achiever. This is something that I'm sharing not to just really gain pity from people, but more of to really share a certain learning that I just had about what was God's plan and what was God really doing in my life as I look back after more or less 10 years of being in the workforce already, according to my age of 34. I think I'm 34 already, and it's really something that's really fascinating for me in a sense, and I'd like to share with you guys. You know what, again, those years, college years. And you know what, being not in an extremely wealthy family has been a huge challenge for me in a sense, dahil of course you're not used to so much money. So I could remember upon graduation from college, I'm happy because my mom and my dad really worked hard to just give me a chance to work, kasi muntikan na ako hindi makapag-aral. Ang nagtaguyod po ng pag-aaral ko is actually nanay ko talaga and my dad, because long story, ayoko na i-share dito, but really when it comes to the things that I believe that I want to do, when I graduated, really, I did not, college really, unang-una nga nung college ako, hindi ko nga alam yung gusto kong kurso eh. Nag-decide lamang po ako na magiging kurso ko nung ako po ay mag-enroll na. My mom and my dad would usually tease me, telling me kaya lang naman ako kuya, kaya ako na naman daw kinuha yung kurso na gusto ko, kasi yung nililigawan ko raw noon was studying there already, and not really already, was about to study there. Sabi na sinusundan ko lang daw, but in reality hindi. I'm one of those students na, I had no direction in terms of my career. I did not know what course I wanted, and then the word psychology really came into my mind, and I had no idea in terms of bakit ako magsa-psychology, anong gagawin ko sa psychology. I did not even know psychology, and only started to appreciate what psychology was when I was already a student. And fascinating, it was great, and I really loved it. Although I can't say na matataas yung grades ko, sabit din ang grades ko tulad na ako po ay high school. And yeah, until such a time I graduated, special thanks to my mom and my dad who really helped me concerning that. But thinking about it and looking back after my graduation, actually nearing my graduation, at the same time when I was doing schooling, I was really active in the ministry, helping out my former school in terms of their campus ministry as well. I could remember before the school director telling me, how are you? Would you like to apply? Because she knows me as one of the leaders as an alumnus. She was so excited to offer me a job. And she told me, I'm very sorry, pero ito lang ang kaya kong i-offer sa'yo. And lo and behold, I was so shocked to see 5 figures of money, and I was so in that situation. Parang ang laki-laking pera nito. I did not know the value of money. So I grabbed the amount of 10,000 pesos as my first ever salary as an employee, and it was really, really challenging for me. Thankfully, malapit lang yung school sa bahay ko. And ang nangyayari was that I could ride the tricycle going to the school in the morning, and then para lang to make things or make ends meet, ang ginagawa ko po ay naglalakad na ako pa uwi even pag may baha, kasi bahain yun, Isla Verde kasi yung location na yun before. It's a joke, it's an inside joke for those who know us, who know me. Anyway, as in literally isla yung lugar eh. Patayin ko to guys literally isla po kasi parang nagiging isla pag umuulan. So it was a bit challenging for me to look for to earn enough money nung panahon na yon. So what else happened to me during that time? Nung mga panahon po na yon, dumating ako sa point na buti na lang sa school canteen pwede pong mangutang. Yung lunch ko po ay nagiging salary deduction na lamang, and that was my life. And it came to a point, I was a guidance counselor, and then one of my biggest fears noon was that, naku, guidance counselor ako, naku, required pala kaming magturo. That's brutal. Imagine mo being a not so much of a performing student, I am in a situation in my life wherein I am required to become a teacher for a change. And I questioned God, ba't ganito yung buhay ko? Ba't ko kailangan yung teacher? And at the same time, a guidance counselor, a number of my classmates were doing already the corporate side of things. And here am I in a small school in the province. Actually, hindi naman siya probinsya na. It's nearly a part of Metro Manila in Rizal. And I'm this or that. And frustrating as it may seem, that was a big question. Why was I working there? And really, I questioned God so many times. Lord, bakit ganito ang buhay ko? Bakit, why do I have to be here? Do counseling with people. Ang nagka-counsel ka naman, ang kinakausap naman puro mga magulang, diba? And I thought that I was gonna stay there for a very long time, become a good guidance counselor, be active in the ministry and things like that, until I left. I left the country, and sadly, hindi po ako naging successful paglabas ng bansa. But I was really positive as a person na okay lang yan. Kahit na nagkautang-utang ka na, it's okay. Maybe there's something gonna happen. And lo and behold, I asked myself, what's gonna happen to me? Now, being in the Philippines and doing that prior to everything that has happened, naging active din po ako sa ministry. I was doing the PowerPoint presentations of the pastor namin in Metro East, in a church in Metro East. And I was the point person doing his PowerPoints, and dun ako nahasa gumawa ng PowerPoints. And till such a time that I had to leave again that ministry because I was leaving the country, and it was really, really challenging. It was so challenging. And there were certain skills that I learned throughout that period. But lo and behold, big questions in my heart and my mind are really flowing and saying, bakit ako nandito? What's my purpose? Why do I have to experience this disappointment after disappointment? And it all made clear to me when I went to Dubai. take note, Dubai wasn't really a successful period in my career. Hindi naman na waste yung time ko, but that was the place wherein it was really birthed in me the realization of what God had intended me to do. And I realized na ang rason pala kaya ako ay hinayaan ni Lord na matuto na mag-handle ng mga preaching ng mga pastor, maging guidance counselor, and become a teacher, and become a psychology graduate who's supposed to be an HR professional, was that he wanted me to enter the HR profession in a different light, or in a different mode, in a different setting. Gusto po ni Lord pala na ipasok ako sa HR and there do a lot of difference. Pero sinasabi mo, teka, anong kinalaman ng pagiging guidance counselor? Anong kinalaman ng pagiging teacher? Well, he introduced me. I believe God was the one who introduced me to the world of training. Interesting, no? And it was so fascinating for me to view, to think, and to see it all work in that area. Maging trainer na pala ako. Because na-realize ko the reason why God placed me to do the PowerPoints of the pastors was that he was training me to really do my own work as a trainer. Matututo kong gumawa ng mga sarili kong PowerPoint, making it look engaging. He placed me in the world of psychology because he wanted me to understand the adult learning theory, understand people, how they learn, how they understand things, understand the emotions of people, being able to counsel people in difficult situations, because in training sometimes you do that. Sometimes you relate with people in certain areas like that. He placed me in a situation wherein I became a guidance counselor as well, talking to parents, more on parents than students, because he wanted me to relate with the adults of the workforce. And it was really fascinating for me to realize na ganun pala ang plano ni Lord sa akin. And really, after that, I entered the world of training. I entered another job, small, not really that much of a big paying job, but it was in training, and I was really, really happy to train people in this certain aspect of business, di ba? Mga production people, di ba? Giving them orientations about the company and teaching them about positive attitude in the workplace. And I really thank Sir Julius Ballesteros, who really taught me the importance of attitude, who gave so much importance to attitude in training, which is, for me, if I was to be asked by people, that is the heart of the type of training that I provide. Regardless if it's a corporate training or things like that. I actually entered various training settings, the insurance business, sales industry, printing industry, and even pest control, wherein I was always asking God, what's your plan for this? And one of the most surprising things that I could say is that God was actually using those circumstances in my life to prepare me for life, to prepare me to be able to provide for my family. Ngayon po, I'm very, very thankful to God, and I'm so glad that I experienced those small circumstances wherein I actually doubted, to be honest, I actually doubted God. God, bakit mo pinadala ako sa sitwasyon na to? And then only to realize and stand in awe to see that the God of all, the great God who created heaven and earth and created and breathed life into my lungs, okay, had a plan, and he wanted to make me into a person that could reach people. And I'm so glad and so happy, because in my career, I've been given the opportunity to share literally the gospel to people through training. There were even sessions wherein I met numbers of around 100 to 200 people in one setting, just doing training to them, but at the same time infusing the word of God. Kasi I was so frustrated back then, Lord, ba't hindi ako naging pastor? I wanted to become a pastor. I was never ever endorsed to become a pastor because nga ang comment ng mga tao was that I'm not that much productive, As a small group leader, hindi ako nag-handle ng mga small groups gaano. Although there were seasons wherein I handled small groups as well. But I'm not like those guys na sobrang dami ang hinahandle. And it was uncharacteristically of me to lead that because I considered myself as a small group leader to the outcasts, mga ganon. But you know what, God really placed me in this situation wherein I could impact more lives. I could remember that my former mentor, Mr. Balse, would always tell us, if everyone would go to full time, who would reach out people in the places where you are, in the business world, in the hospitals, who would give hope to people who are suffering and challenging. And that gave me a realization, oo nga no, that's God's plan, that's God's direction. And if you're watching this right now and you're thinking in your life, in your situation, even if you're a young person right now, hindi mo alam bakit mo ginagawa ang sitwasyon mo, or you're in yung ginagawa mo ngayon, why are you stuck in this specific job na hindi mo naman gusto, I want to encourage you and to share you based on my experience that God has a plan. May plano talaga si Lord kung bakit kanya nilagay sa ganyang sitwasyon. May plano si Lord kung bakit ka nagtatrabaho dyan. May plano si Lord kung bakit dyan ka nag-aaral. May plano si Lord ba't sa ganyang klaseng pamilya ka. May plano si Lord kung bakit ganito yung sitwasyon mo. Because at the end of the day, you would just stand awestruck with the realization that, wow, ganun pala si Lord. Kaya pala si Lord talagang hinayaan niya ako matuto mag-English or through anime, okay? Because I would be using this voice to train people in this language. Kaya pala hinayaan ako ni Lord na matuto magsalita ng Tagalog ng ganitong pamamaraan, hindi masyadong malalim, okay lang, because God was actually doing something in my life. He was about to do something wondrous. And let's be like that. Be excited of the wondrous things that God will be doing in our lives. Let's believe God, let's trust God na kung anong sitwasyon na nasan ka ngayon, God is using that in your life. God is about to do something amazing in your life. Okay ba yun? So God is gonna do great. Let's be excited. Let's be glad because our Lord is amazing. Once again, maraming salamat. Ako po si Kuya Jam Jam, ang kuyang naniniwala. Maraming salamat po sa panonood ng ating maliit at very short na content sa araw na ito. And I hope that you would remember that God believes in you, okay? And believes that you can handle it. And He loves you and you're gonna be there, and He's gonna be there for you. And maniwala po na nandito po kami, mga taong naniniwala sa inyo. Huwag kang panghihinaan ng loob dahil may naniniwala sa iyo. Once again, ako si Kuya Jam Jam, ang kuyang naniniwala. Please watch Sabado Before Dark, and ito pong Kuya Jam Jam for more content. Maraming salamat po, and God bless you all.